before we just went live, so I'm here now. I'm ready to have a good time. We're starting off with the other side of top 8, though. We got Marvale and Deltaforce bringing us in here.
Yeah, definitely going to be some chiller vibes here for this one tonight. I mean, I think we still have like the competitive spirit, but I mean, you know, we can all take a few liberties with that as we see fit. So Marvale versus Deltaforce, we are going to see if Marvale is ready for the link this week. This is going to be a classic collision matchup, I think, at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a classic if you've been here before. These two are, especially recently, coming to a lot of events, so you see them in bracket, not always against each other, but I mean, we're already starting off with a pretty clean pace here.
Yeah, this is the thing, you know, Link, he has a really good sex kick in the nair, but I mean, it's not always enough to get you out of the Palu combo, so you're going to have to make sure that the DI is on point, you're going to follow up and use the jump here, but it's not going to do too much harm. We just get right back in the blender, and as of right now, Deltaforce is using a lot of these resources a little early. I think Marvale is going to be starting to look for those with more precision on subsequent attempts.
Yeah, Deltaforce, something I've noticed from seeing a lot of his play is he tends to take a lot of the hits when things start off, but bit by bit kind of finds his ground. And as the game and stocks go on, you'll see he kind of brings things back to an even percent like this. And now it's anyone's game for this first stock.
We got the bomb sitting on platform. I mean, you can tell Deltaforce is trying to do something with it. We see a little bit of payoff of that trap setup. But as you look for it, Marvale picks it up effortlessly and just knows how to stuff out Deltaforce's options. Great tech on that stage spike, but you're still going to die just at the very last second to the dash attack.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate there, but it's pretty easy to get this hit back here. Link does have pretty good proficiency with killing, especially with that up B, both grounded and aerial. If you can just find one straight hit, and you can see the first hits of forward air keep coming out trying to find that, but Marvale's actually putting on the pressure more right now.
Yeah, I like to see it because, I mean, when you have this advantage and you're at 150, I mean, you have full rage, you can start taking a few more risks just because you have the lead, but eventually you are going to be able to lose that stock. The extra credit wasn't too great, but Marvale is going to go right back into it off the Angel platform. Look for some more of these combos.
Yeah, 69% on Delta. Marvale looking to extend that lead a little more. That back air, such a prominent tool for Palutena. Really quick, good for combos, gives you defensive pressure, basically everything you could want and more. But here comes Marvale, and like I said, comes back a bit more as the stocks go on. Not quite even yet, but a couple more hits just like that, and it's a difference of 6%.
Yeah, and this is the power of using the iframe moves like the back air and the dash attack. Marvale able to kind of force his way in, and Deltaforce just cannot keep him at bay with the zoning tools that Link offers. As of right now, Marvale is just finding the approaches so well that it's hard for Deltaforce to breathe.
Yeah, one of the big struggle points that comes up a lot that you hear from Link players is he kind of lacks a good grounded option for directly in front of him. You kind of replace it because you have the best nair in the game, so that tends to work most of the time. But things like forward tilt, it's a good kill option, but it doesn't, you know, come out fast. Dash attack is super slow and also a good kill option. You'd be fine having one or the other, but having both makes it a little awkward, which leaves your best frontal option as jab. And that's not something you can pull out in a lot of circumstances.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, Link, although he is a zoner, doesn't have some of the tools that some of the better zoners, like Snake, for example, have in zone breaking tools. You can set up your zone, but if you need to get back in and maybe have an option, you need something like that. But off stage, we could definitely do the work that is necessary with the reversed up B. I've seen Deltaforce go for that quite often. It's a good bread and butter kill option just off stage.
Yeah, and now looking for some openings to try and get anything happening here. 150% though. That is very clean kill percent for Palutena. That back air will be sealing the first game for Marvale.
Yeah, again, it's just the approaches with the back air, they've been generally risk-free because Deltaforce will either clank and then not be able to do anything, or will just get hit outright. And that's just the problem because, I mean, though you have a good disjoint in the Master Sword, there's still a lot that Link is lacking in a matchup like this one where you just kind of smothered.
Yeah, absolutely. I was looking it up because I was curious. The current set record between these two is 4-2 in favor, or sorry, 4-12. Sorry, big difference in favor of Marvale.
Okay, yeah.
So Deltaforce does struggle with this. The last time they fought was at Scarlet Classic a month ago.
Right.
And yeah, the last 5 times they have fought have all been in favor of Marvale. That is
Well,
a year's worth of losses.
that is tough, but there's 5 sets worth of conditioning that maybe Deltaforce is able to call upon for this set. Still, having a 25% win rate isn't great. It's still daunting, but I mean, there's a lot of chances you have, and this game is relatively even so far.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I called that wrong, actually. I said a year's worth. The last win was at Fusion 195. So I believe those are all 5 losses within the last couple of months, the calendar year of 2024, which is impressive for any people to have fought that much already this time of the year.
And yet, Deltaforce still manages to take the first stock. And getting first blood is going to be a really good boon to your mental, because now you can start playing ahead. You can have this ability to use the zoning tools perhaps better. You don't have to go into the approaches. And that was such a great call out on the bomb recovery. But a huge hitbox like that Palutena up smash will get the job done.
Yeah, really good awareness there from Marvale to catch that, saw the bomb coming out, figured what was coming next. And hey, it's a little risky to go for. Deltaforce maybe could have adapted, gone for an upbeat, but did commit to the read, and it was a good read to commit to. Get you the stock there, and now Deltaforce actually trailing on the second stock.
Okay, but still, we have a 30% lead that's dwindling as we speak. As of right now, the bomb setups have been kind of petering out. Not really too much off of that for Deltaforce, maybe other than just the empty pressure. Marvale has been playing well enough at range, and now even then when you get in, there's a lot more that you have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Back throw there to get Delta off stage. Going to trade the Nair with the uppy. That will work pretty favorably for Marvale, but Delta's still going to slip back in. And now we're just kind of back to where we were 12 seconds ago.
Right, and the disjoint of that down tilt going to sweep you up off the ledge so often, so frequently. And Deltaforce now, that lead that you had at the very beginning seems to have all been for naught, because Marvale is starting to bear down and potentially bring this to a set point game.
Yeah, I mean, I've said Deltaforce is pretty good at getting these comebacks, but this is a pretty steep hill to have to climb right now. Marvale throwing out that Nair like it owes him money. A lot of good hits coming through here, and Deltaforce just seems to be slipping more and more by the second.
Yeah, one back throw, and then looking for a potential trump, but I think maybe a little bit early on it. Deltaforce still not pressured enough, has to take some hits on the shield, but still doing okay. We have a reset opportunity, but obviously Deltaforce was facing the wrong way. There's not much you can do except reset. Oh, but wait, we're looking for a footstool potentially.
Shockingly, nothing going to come from that. I figured at least one of them would have fell there, but no. Deltaforce going to do a bomb drop into forward air, I think, to bully back on stage. I love that option.
Oh, but we don't see the up tilt. Now we finally get it here, but there was an opportunity when Marvale was on the platform. Deltaforce kind of hesitated, and you cannot hesitate in situations like this, because right now, you're on death's door.
This is a situation where you have to play pretty perfectly, but Deltaforce is trying to do it. That back air has the spark, but not the final spark. You are still in this game at 141%, and you can see Marvale just wants another one of those. Knows it'll close the stock out if he can land it.
Exactly. Just tap it in. That's the 3 back airs in a row, 5 back airs in a row. We're going to look for a 6th, and we're actually going to connect this one. Just a simple Nair poop off stage, and that's all it takes. But yeah, you see the pressure coming out. The great upbeat reaction from Deltaforce was almost enough to bring it back, and yet it felt like the iframe moves were just so dismantling to the entire game plan.
Yeah, so much strong pressure. So many options being covered and thrown out by Marvale constantly. It was just really hard for Delta to get a foot back into that game at that point. And while there was inklings of it maybe coming to pass, it never got to the point where Marvale truly lost the lead, I feel.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, at the beginning of that second game, I thought there was definitely a sliver of hope for Deltaforce, or potentially something even more than that. But it felt like enough adaptation had occurred in that first minute and a half of the game that Marvale just re-centered and understood what Deltaforce was looking for in that game, and the desperation started to show a little bit more than it should.
Yeah, 100%. Fully agree with that. So, moving on in bracket, we do have Syrup versus Apple Reviewer. And if I'm not mistaken, this is Apple Reviewer's first fusion back. Ex-New England, land of my people. Sean Apple Reviewer, the Meat Brawler, for those of you that don't know him, is now back in Jersey.
Cool. And yeah, beat Greg House, the Rob, to get into this top 8 in a 2-0. And obviously, Apple Reviewer, very, very strong Mii brawler. We saw it in a couple sets ago, but this time going up against the guy who got 5th at Gommel. So let's just say you've got your work cut out for you no matter who you are.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Apple Reviewer is no stranger to big upsets. Over the weekend, I don't know at what event it was, but he did beat Zomba 0-2. And I think there was a best of 10 set later.
Okay.
I don't know what the end result of that was, but I know he's beaten Zomba this weekend at least. So, you know,
Okay.
Syrup, that's about the same caliber of player. I do know that Sean thinks the matchup is really good for Mii Brawler, which makes sense.